In this episode, we will talk about how we are multidimensional beings. We will also talk about the significance of dreams and how you can use dreams to manifest your desires. The usage of dreams to manifest your desires is hardly discussed in detail. This video will have an in-depth explanation of how to use your dreams to aid your manifestations. Make sure to stick to the very end, and I promise you will find some rare information here. Let's begin by looking at what Neville Goddard taught about dreams. In one of his lectures, he interprets some words from the Bible. He explains that God put man to sleep so that man is dreaming. But God was so in love with his creation, that he wanted his creation to exist for itself. He wanted man to exist for man himself. However, it was God who was dreaming. So how can the dream exist for man? There was only one way that it could happen. God had to die and become man. So, God died and became man. God cannot die, so here it means that God forgot that he is God. He embodied himself into man. So now this reality that man experiences is God's dream or man's own dream. God has become one with man. Now let us look at what Vadimzeland, a quantum physicist, and the author of Reality Transurfing has to say about dreams. Vadim explains that dreams cannot be just figments of our minds. At least not in the general sense of it. Why? Because the vividness of a dream is too great compared to our imagination or memory. Let me explain. If you now look at your phone, you can see it very clearly. Your sight is very powerful, and it allows you to sense all the details of your phone vividly. Now, if you close your eyes and try to recall the image of your phone, the vividness diminishes significantly. It is almost impossible to recall the image with as much vividness as sight. However, when you dream, the brain somehow gains the ability to imagine vividly. It is so real, that you cannot tell the difference between reality and your dream. Our brains are very smart. They regulate and adjust countless things in our bodies to keep us alive without us even consciously knowing about them. However, it almost never grows the ability to distinguish between reality and a dream. It even disturbs your sleep by waking you up from a nightmare. Of course, if you practice lucid dreaming, that is a different story altogether. But lucid dreaming is a conscious effort. And even with lucid dreaming, one cannot become 100% lucid in all his dreams all the time. So the conclusion that Vadim draws from this is that dreams are not figments of our imaginations. Rather, you experience alternate realities from the space of variation. I have previously made a video about space of variation. I will leave a link for that video in the description so that you can go and watch that video after this one to have a better understanding. Now, back to the topic of dreams. Space of variation consists of all possible realities that have not materialized. When you dream, your consciousness gets detached from your physical body and it gets to experience other alternate realities. One thing I will add to this theory is that imagination also allows us to travel across non-physical alternate realities. The reason imagination or memory are not as vivid is because of the degree of attachment to the human body. The more conscious you are in your physical body, the less vivid will be your other realities. So in conclusion, your 3D reality only differs from your dream in one aspect. Your dreams are non-physical pure energy, while your 3D reality consists of physical matter. Matter is energy slowed down. And that is why your experience of time is much greater in the 3D reality. You experience more sequence and there is a bit of slowness that you experience compared to a dream. In a dream, you can jump from one scenario to another in an instant without much logic involved. But in the 3D reality, you feel like you need a sequence of logical steps before you can change your scenario. It is important to note that although you cannot fully escape the experience of time in your 3D reality, but a lot of the experience of time is created by your own mind. It is absolutely possible to speed up your manifestations. The later part of the video will address this aspect. So now, you may be thinking all well and good, but how does it help me manifest my desires? To answer this question, we need to investigate the dream state. Let me get one thing out of the way now. Dreaming about your desire does not necessarily mean that you will manifest your desire. Your dream is like the mirror dimension of Doctor Strange. You can practice your manifestations in the dream state. What works in the dream state works in your 3D reality. The only difference is time. In your non-material dream reality, manifestations occur instantaneously. In your material waking reality, manifestations take time. Okay, so how do you learn from the dream state? The very best thing you can do is to practice lucid dreaming. For those who don't know what lucid dreaming is, it is when you become aware in your dream that you are dreaming. I am unable to cover all about lucid dreaming in this video, but you can find countless materials on this subject with a simple Google search. But I will talk about the 7 principles of a lucid dream that relates to manifestation in the 3D reality. Here are the lessons I have learned from the dream state that helps me manifest within a dream. 1. Realize you are dreaming. 2. Realize that all your experiences are projections of your mind. Hence, you can do, have, or be anything you want. 3. Intend for your desire to manifest. Note that intention is not done with force. It is a completely natural phenomenon. It is like moving your hand. The way you move your hand is you to decide to move it and it moves. If you are thinking of moving or wanting to move it, then we call it desire. Desire does not manifest. It is intention. 4. Do not force or get agitated with your intention, as it will wake you up and prevent your manifestation. 5. What you focus on within a dream expands. For example, if you suddenly stumble upon a specific object, now you focus on it, you will see that more will unfold about that object while other aspects of your dream will begin fading away. 6. You will have difficulty manifesting desires where you hold limiting or negative beliefs. Oftentimes, some situation will arise within your dream that relates to a negative belief you hold, and it will ruin the fun. It is important to note these situations as they indicate the negative beliefs you hold in your subconscious. 7. You also realize that you do not have control over all aspects of your dream. You can intend to manifest an experience, but it is almost impossible to work out the details. For example, you can intend to meet a certain person. Unless you specifically intend for a certain place where you would meet, then it can be anywhere. Also, it is almost impossible to control all aspects of your dream, as the agitation to try to control everything will wake you up and fail the manifestation. You also do not need to know how your intention will manifest. The 7 principles of lucid dreaming mentioned above also apply to your 3D reality. The only difference is that you experience time in the physical reality as energy is slowed down to form matter. On the contrary, you manifest things instantly in your dream state as your experience is non-physical and exist in the form of pure energy. So now, if you apply the 7 principles and coupled it with persistence, you would be able to manifest your desires much more efficiently. If you want to learn firsthand about manifestations by practicing in your dream state, you have 2 options. First one is to practice lucid dreaming. There are countless techniques for experiencing lucid dreams. The technique that works best for me is when I drift off to sleep saying to myself that I am going to dream now. In my dream, I realize what I had told myself earlier, and then my lucid dreaming begins. Although I gained some great insights from my dreams, I still do not consider myself as an expert lucid dreamer. The benefit you will experience by lucid dreaming is that you will be able to understand exactly what thought and feeling manifests your desires. As lucid dreaming is quite difficult to do, the other thing you can do is to read a book about lucid dreaming. I read a book about lucid dreaming that had nothing to do with manifestations. The book is called Lucid Dreaming, Plain and Simple, by Robert Waggoner and Caroline McCready. It was a very interesting read, as I kept realizing that they are applying the same principles that spiritual teachers teach to aid our manifestations. Please know that I have no affiliation with this book or make any money from the sale of it in any way. If you want to have it really easy, just apply the 7 principles in your waking life and see the wonders they do to bring your dreams to life. This is the end of today's video. You can learn about the space of variation from the video link provided at the end of this video. I will greatly appreciate if you like, share and comment on this video to help this channel grow. Also make sure to subscribe and hit the notification icon to learn manifestation tips that will take your game to another level. Until next time, happy manifesting, guys.